Alright, hello Professor. This is the final project. I got the board loaded here, a simulation file we're going to look at. But just to be brief real quick, the design is not fully functional how I would like it to be, but it does have functionality to where I am sort of pleased with considering the circumstances. Of course the time crunch and the sort of like the partner kind of issue. I was expecting more help on this project, but everything that will be submitted is like literally all, it has my name all over it. And so yeah, if I would have known about that issue a little bit earlier on, then time-wise, I probably would have started a lot earlier in my project and would have figured it out all myself, considering if I had more time. But anyway, enough with the rant. Let's look at the simulation. So, also to be brief again, to explain the game concept real quick. What's supposed to happen is the game loads up, it's programmed, it comes like this, gets ready to be played. So 2 players, player 1 over here, LED 15 to 8, so 8 bits, and then LED 7 to 0. To start the game, there's sort of like a ready, set, go mechanism that I kind of like literally added last minute, because just to do something, because some of the functionality wasn't working correctly. So both players have to have a finger on the button, and that kind of instantiates the game to start. So first, the up button, which enables the speed. So there's only going to be one speed on this game, and I kind of decided to do that because it was sort of difficult to hit the LEDs, and I didn't want to lower the speed because the game would have just like took way too long. So the speed is challenging enough to struggle to hit it, but it's also at a nice pace to sort of have fun, I guess. So one player, either one, have their finger on the up button, and that sends a pulse to enable the speed, and then the second player puts their finger on the start button, which is the center button, and that begins the shifting of the LEDs. And then from there, they'll be trying to hit their particular LED on their side of the board, with the left button being player 1 and the right button being player 2. And if they do so, that LED will stay active. That LED will stay active on the board, right? And the count it's supposed to, this is a bug, that's why it's not fully functional as well. It should just count to, okay, that LED is active, increment the count on the board. Instead, you'll see the 7-segment display kind of bug out quite often. And so, yeah, I'm not sure why, but I feel like I should have solved that issue. But sadly, I was not able to do so. And yeah. Also, another feature that is missing from the game is for once all 8 LEDs are lit for a player, shifting of course will stop, so that's good. But I wanted a victory pattern to display for the particular winner, right? And so I had the code written for it, but I wasn't able to instantiate another 7-segment driver component to connect to the segments. And I tried instantiating another component, but I don't think you're allowed to do that, just based off the errors I was seeing. However, there probably was a way to do it correctly, but again, because of timing, I wasn't able to look at that as well. So we're missing 2 things. One, the count isn't displaying correctly how it should be, and then the second thing is a victory pattern isn't displayed after each win. So those are 2 things that, they're kind of big as far as like feature-wise, but as far as the flow of the game, I'm glad the flow kind of connects, because if I had the features going with the flow, then we're good. I'd rather have the flow going than the features working, but the flow is like completely off. So anyway, before we do that, let's look at the simulation. As you can see, I took off reset and switches because those are just two things that they're actually implemented to move on to the next round. And so I'll show you that whenever we do it on the board. But for now, this simulation just shows one instance of a round of a game being played. And you'll see LEDs shifting, and you'll see them stay active and continue to shift to the next LED with a high being on the one that's active and stuff. So right here, we got the clock. I'll zoom in so we can look for a little bit. Look at that clock. It's continuous active. We got the center button and the up button. And like I said before, those are, let's see, where are we at? Oh, there we go. Alright, like I said before, I'm sorry, I was taking up the screen. Sorry if this video is way longer than it should be. But like I said before, this up button is pressed by a player to send out an enable signal for the speed. The center button is pressed by another player, so it's sort of like a ready, set, go mechanism. Then they both let their fingers off the buttons, and the LEDs will shift, and then they can kind of focus on their side of the board. So here, the LED is shifting. We'll pull that down and look at it. So here we can see the LED is shifting, and when you see this long shift right here, the left button is player 1, which is right here. So it became active. So right here, let's see, right here it connected with the clock at a certain point, and it activated that LED to stay active. And so shifting is still continuing though. As you can see, it goes from here to here. Oh, it got captured, so it's going to stay active, but we're still shifting. I caught that one. Still shifting, yada yada. And let's see, I'm gonna move over. We'll zoom out. And then, so oh yeah, by the way, player 1 is LED 15 all the way down to 8. And then player 2, which is the right button, is going to be LED 7 down to 0. And so here we can see that LEDs are becoming active according to a rising edge of the clock, and that instantiating a capture on the LED. And so yeah, pretty nice. So the test bench definitely shows what should happen. The only thing that would be missing is sort of a victory pattern at the end whenever there's 8 LEDs active. But however, everything else seems to flow well. Okay, so I might need 2 hands, to be honest. I think I'll be good. Yeah, I think I'll be good. Alright, so it programs, it loads up just like so. Actually, I want to make sure. Just make sure this is freshly loaded. Okay. So all switches are down. Also, to keep count of score, what's important is if this player wins, right, they need to increment the switch count on their far right side. If they don't do so, then the game won't function properly. Same with this one. They need to do it on their far left side, and they work their way in. Just like so. Okay, so let's see if I can do this to start the game. That button is pressed, and then the down button sends the signal, or the center button sends the signal. And let's see if I can do this on video. Okay, see, I'm capturing. They're staying active. But as you can see, I'm sure you're noticing, the 7 segment is like not doing what it's supposed to do. Right now it should have 7-6. It should have what, seven LED. It should have the number 7 on the right side for player 2. And we'll count some for, where's the button? Okay, we'll count some for player. See, that's good, right? That's exactly what it should be doing. But it doesn't. It'll bug out. See. We can continue to capture. And it doesn't work on holding. Like I'm holding the button right now. So, and for player 1, left button. So it's not taking that. It's on the, it's like looking for, like timing, which is good. So I'm a little too early, I'm a little too late. Alright, so yeah. So I'll be player 2 and we'll see if I can get him to win. Okay, nice. And just to show you that, so what's good is 8 is still showing here, so that's good. But also what you'll notice is no shifting will occur again, which is good. So that's like an indicator. Well, what would happen on this point, if I had the design fully functional, is shifting would stop, then a victory pattern would be displaying over here, indicating that player 2 has won. And so to go into the next round, they flip the switch, they press reset, and then, so now the overall game score is obviously going based off the switches. And so player 2 has a count of 1. But they manually, so they basically tally their score with the switches, which I think is kind of fun. And then they hold the up button again. Remember, my middle finger would be like player 2, and my right pointer finger would be like player 1. And so that would indicate the next round of the game. We'll have player 2 try to win this game. I'm so bad because I'm looking like at the camera, trying to do this. All right. Okay, I'll just show you that this one's still working. But again, you can see the display not doing it correctly. Okay, nice. So I should also show you that definitely the shifting's not working by more than one LED not being lit. Okay, so this player 1, we would want to see victory patterns displaying on this side. We flip the far left one. We hit reset because we don't want to see more LEDs. We want the count to be back to 0. And we start a new instance. Whoop. Okay. So there's a bug somewhere probably. Alright, I'll just reset, reprogram the device. Okay. So just check. Let's check it with player 2 winning again. So boom, boom. Oh, what am I pressing? I'm pressing the center button. If the count was working, I would like this so much. Like it works, and it's satisfying because you see the LEDs and you know which one you have active. So I mean that obviously keeps track of your score. But I kind of really wanted a tally type system for the game, and you'll see the shifting stop from the left side. So victory pattern should be displaying, but unfortunately it's not. We flip the score, press the reset, and we start a new instance. And then what I would like for to have happened. Okay, I'll win with player 2 again, so you can see that this switch is being active. I know the video is kind of long, but even if we have 2 switches active, we can go into a new instance around, because I bugged out last time, so I'm gonna fix that. But you can see the game's pretty lengthy, as far as like, because you have to try to hit these LEDs, and you have to have 8 switches active to like win the overall game. And once that happened, I wanted like the whole 7 seconds. So we got, yeah, real quick, no more signals occurred. We would see this guy, be displaying victory pattern. But what I wanted to happen, and here I'll show you this real quick. Reset. There we got new instance. But what I wanted to happen was, once all 8 switches are active for either player, then the whole thing display one like big victory pattern. So yeah, like a shebang or whatever. But anyway, this is my design. It's missing a few things, but I think that it's not bad for how I kind of came across unfortunate circumstances. But thank you, and I will see you on the final. Thank you.